Someone is talking to you. The conversation is calm, and then without warning, it shifts. Suddenly they are not attacking your idea anymore. They are attacking you, your intelligence, your character, your worth as a person. And you feel it in your chest before your brain even registers what happened. You are not prepared for that. Nobody teaches you this. Nobody warns you that some of the most dangerous weapons in the world are words arranged in a very specific, very calculated way. But today, that changes. What you are about to learn is not just how to survive verbal attacks. It is how to understand exactly why they happen, what the person attacking you is actually afraid of, and how to disarm them with a single, calm sentence that stops them completely. This is dark rhetoric, and this is the psychology they never taught you. Here is what nobody tells you about verbal attacks. They are almost never about you. When someone attacks your character in the middle of a disagreement, when they twist your words, when they say, "So you are basically saying you do not care about anyone," they are not reacting to truth. They are reacting to fear. And that one shift in understanding is going to change everything for you. Psychologists call this the status threat response. When a person feels their social standing, their intelligence, or their sense of control being challenged, the brain does something fascinating. It stops trying to win the argument and starts trying to destroy the threat. That threat is you. So before we go into the 5 reasons, understand this. Every personal attack is a confession of insecurity dressed up as aggression. Once you see it that way, you stop feeling attacked. You start feeling curious. Reason number 1, status signaling. Picture 2 people in a meeting room. One presents an idea that is actually brilliant. The other has nothing to counter it with. So instead of engaging with the idea, they say, "Honestly, I expected more from someone with your experience." That sentence had nothing to do with the idea. It was a signal, a public signal to everyone in the room that they are above you in the hierarchy. Research from the University of Amsterdam found that when individuals feel their status is threatened, they respond with what are called dominance displays. Verbal dominance displays include belittling, interrupting, and character attacks. It is the psychological equivalent of a peacock spreading its feathers. It is pure performance. And now that you know that, you can name it. The next time someone does this to you, try this. Calm your voice to almost a whisper and say, "I noticed that instead of engaging with the point, you shifted to commenting on me. What is making that feel necessary right now?" Watch what happens. Watch their face. Because you just turned a mirror on them and they were not ready for that. Reason number 2, cognitive dissonance escape. The human brain has one job above all else: to be right, not to be good, not to be kind, to be right. And when someone encounters an argument that threatens to prove them wrong, a specific part of the brain, the anterior cingulate cortex, fires like an alarm. The psychological discomfort is almost physical. Personal attacks become an escape route from that discomfort. If they can make you look stupid, irrational, or emotionally unstable, they do not have to deal with the fact that your argument is better than theirs. They have not won the argument. They have simply set fire to the arena so nobody can judge who won. This is what the experts call an ad hominem fallacy, but the science behind why people use it is far more interesting than the Latin name. It is not laziness. It is survival. The ego is protecting itself from collapse. Your move when this happens is what psychologists call meta-commentary. You step outside the argument and you comment on the argument itself. You say, "I think we have drifted from the actual topic. You were making a point about this and I was making a point about that. Do you want to return to that, or is there something else happening here?" You do not get defensive. You become the analyst. And the analyst always has the power in the room. Reason number 3, emotional hijacking. Your nervous system is the target, not your mind, not your argument, your nervous system. Because a person who is calm and grounded under pressure is almost impossible to manipulate. So skilled verbal aggressors do one thing first. They try to destabilize you. They make a comment so unexpected, so sharp, so personal that your heart rate spikes in your prefrontal cortex. The part that does calm, logical thinking goes offline. And that is when they have you. Not because they are smarter, because they triggered your amygdala before you even knew it was happening. Here is your defense. It takes 12 seconds. The moment you feel that spike, you inhale for 4 counts through your nose. You hold for 4 counts. You exhale for 4 counts through your mouth. This is called box breathing, and it is used by Navy SEALs, trauma surgeons, and elite athletes to manually override the stress response and bring the prefrontal cortex back online. 12 seconds. That is all it takes to go from reactive to responsive. And the person who is attacking you cannot figure out why you are still calm. That calm is your power. That calm is your answer. Reason number 4. Social proof manipulation. This one is subtle and it is dangerous. It sounds like everyone thinks you are overreacting. It sounds like I am not the only one who feels this way about how you handled that. It sounds like most people would agree that you are being unreasonable. What they are doing is weaponizing the human need for social belonging. Psychologist Robert Cialdini documented this in decades of research. Humans are wired to adjust their beliefs and behaviors based on what they believe the group thinks. It is a survival mechanism. In tribal times, being rejected by the group meant death. So when someone implies that the group is against you, your brain panics. But here is what is almost always true. They made it up, or they massively exaggerated it. The everyone is 2 people. The most people is 1 person who kind of agreed with them once. Your response is simple and devastating. You say, "That is interesting." Who specifically? Because I would genuinely like to hear their perspective directly. They cannot answer that. And the silence that follows says everything you needed to say. Reason number 5. Identity destabilization. This is the deepest and most sophisticated of all the attacks, and it often comes from people who know you, people who are close to you. It sounds like you have always been like this. It sounds like this is just who you are. It sounds like you wonder why people find it hard to trust you. What they are doing is not attacking a behavior. They are attacking the story you tell yourself about who you are. They are trying to rewrite your identity in real time, because a person who does not know who they are is a person who can be controlled. Psychologist Carl Rogers called the stable sense of self the locus of evaluation. The more internally anchored your identity is, the less power anyone has to destabilize it with words. But when that anchor is not secure, a few targeted sentences from the right person can make you doubt everything. The antidote is a single sentence you say to yourself before you respond to them. You say it internally. "I know who I am and I do not need their version of me." That sentence is not arrogance. That sentence is a psychological anchor. It keeps you in the room. It keeps you in your body. It keeps you present enough to respond with clarity instead of chaos. Now here is the thing nobody talks about. All 5 of these attacks have one thing in common. They only work if you engage with them on their terms. The moment you switch from defending yourself to observing what is happening, the dynamic collapses. Psychologist Viktor Frankl survived the unimaginable and came out with one truth that changed the world. Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space is your power. Your freedom is in the pause. Your dignity is in the pause. Your most powerful response has always lived in that pause. So the next time someone attacks your character, your intelligence, your worth, do not flinch. Do not fight back on their level. Take your breath. Notice what they are doing and why they are doing it. And then, calmly, clearly, without anger, name it. Because the most disarming thing you can ever do to someone who attacks you is to understand them better than they understand themselves. You cannot control who comes at you. You can only control how grounded you are when they do. And that groundedness, that quiet, unshakable calm is not something people are born with. It is something people build. One conversation at a time. One pause at a time. One breath at a time. The people who try to tear you down with words are not strong. They are afraid. And fear, once you can see it clearly, has never been able to touch someone who knows exactly who they are. You know who you are.